This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know how it should have happened. In the bath, with salt grains from the Dead Sea, Enya playing, me loving my woman's self. I knew the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal society. It isn't real. Pussies unite! I knew all of it. Like, if we had grown up in a culture where we were taught that fat thighs were beautiful, we would all be pounding down milkshakes and donuts, lying on our backs, thigh extending. But we didn't grow up in that culture, did we? No. I hated my thighs. And I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who had looked at it, and from that moment on, wished I hadn't. It made me sick. In order to survive, I began to picture other things between my legs. I imagined furniture. Cozy futons with light cotton comforters and velvet settees, or pretty things like silk handkerchiefs and quilted pot holders. I got so accustomed to this, I lost all memory of ever having a vagina. When a man was inside of me, I pictured him inside of a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. Then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I have ever met. He was thin, tall, nondescript. He wore khaki tan clothes. He did not like spicy food or listen to Prodigy. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent time in the shade. He did not share his inner feelings. He didn't have any problems or issues. I mean, he wasn't even an alcoholic. He wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable or self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. In fact, if he hadn't handed me back my pennies and quarters that I dropped on the deli floor, I would have missed him altogether. When he handed me back my change and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. That was when the miracle occurred. Turned out that Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they tasted, he loved the way they smelled, he loved the way they felt, but most importantly, Bob loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. The first time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. "I'm right here, Bob." "No," he said. "I have to see you." "Turn on the light," I said, thinking he was a weirdo and freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light. "Now," he said, "I'm ready to see you." "I'm right here, Bob, right here." He began to undress me. "What are you doing, Bob? Bob, what are you doing?" "It's who you are. I need to look," he said. Bob continued, and he would not stop. I wanted to throw up and die. "This is awfully intimate, Bob. Can't you just do it?" "No," he said. "It's who you are. I need to look." I held my breath. He looked, and he looked, and he stared, and he gasped, and he groaned, and he smiled. And his face, it changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. "You're so beautiful," he said. "You're so elegant and deep and innocent and wild." It was like he was reading my heart. "You saw that there?" "Yes," he said, "I saw that, and much, much more." Bob stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map or observing the moon. But it was my vagina. In the light, I saw him staring at me, and he was so excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet, and I began to get turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid, and he wasn't grossed out. I began to swell. I began to feel proud, and I began to love my vagina. And Bob? Well, he kind of lost himself down there, and I was there with him, in my vagina. And we were gone.